I don't think any time pressure ever was felt when it was us three doing our job.
On the field, we always do the right thing, and doing practice, we try to get better every week.
I think our team, especially during some of those years, were pretty thin. They saw our chemistry. They saw how we worked. We play not to let our teammates down, and we're just really reliable. And I think the coaches respected that, and I think they put us out there in situations that they knew that they could trust us.
What's happening, Raider Nation? Welcome to Raiders Talk of the Nation. I'm your host, Baron Davis, and I'm bringing you three Raider legends. Welcome, Jon Condo, Shane Lechler, and Sebastian Janikowski. What's happening, guys? Welcome to the show. Welcome to the nation. I know the nation is happy to see you guys all together. Just talk about working together here and playing for the Raiders. The first time y'all got together and met each other, what was that like?
Well, like Sebastian and I came in the draft class together, and he was picked number 1, our first pick, 17th pick overall or whatever. And then I came in the 5th. After he was drafted in the 1st, I kind of was like, oh, there's no way Al Davis can take me. There's nobody. There's 2 specialists that are going to eat up 2 draft picks, but he chose me in the 5th, him in the 1st.
The Raiders improved their kicking game in the offseason by drafting Sebastian Janikowski out of Florida State with their first-round pick and Shane Lechler out of Texas A&M.
Man, we kind of met each other at the Playboy All-American deal in Arizona. I think it was our junior year, Sebastian.
Yeah.
Then we played against each other in the Meadowlands when he was at Florida State and I was at A&M in the Kickoff Classic. And then after that, I think the next time we probably saw each other was at the Combine. And then I held for him, and then the draft. It's like everything went fast forward. And next thing you know, we were roommates in Alameda.
Good on Alameda. John, talk about how do you balance the personalities between these two sitting between you?
Well, fortunately, I wasn't there for the first 5, 6 years of that. And I don't know if I would have survived from the stories that I've been told. Well, I don't know if my NFL career would have survived. I could have fit right in, but I had to mature a little bit before I was allowed to be with you guys. But Oakland there in 2000, at the end of the 2006 season, and right away I was on practice squad, but they accepted me right away, and then made the roster in 2007, and it was hard to bounce between the two of them because here you have 2 legends, that I'm going into. You hear all the stories of Seabass. Lech was coming off of 3 or 4 or 5 straight years from the All-Pro, having a great career at A&M, and so I didn't really know what I was walking into with these 2 guys because, I mean, they carry a lot of weight with what they've already accomplished in their careers, and but they're just one of the guys, man. And I was really fortunate to be, part of the team, but to be with these guys, they just allowed me to feel real comfortable with what I did, and it made my life easy, like super easy. So
John came in, he fit right in. Without him, we could accomplish what we did.
Yeah, no, he did make it. He made it easy because, there wasn't ever a point in time where it was like, hey, John, you need to do this, or hey, whenever you snap the ball, I want it like this. It was just like all 3 of us in high school were dual sport athletes at least. And so it was all, yes, I'm calling all 3 of us athletes. I mean, when John snapped the ball, all I did was catch it. Seabass didn't care because he had a soccer background. All I had to do was make sure it was standing up, and then everything was easy. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was not, after I left Oakland and went on to Houston for my last, I was like, God dang, these guys are so picky on how they want the ball held and all, like, just kick it. I mean, Jesus, it's right here. And but with Seabass, it didn't really matter because even in practice, if he would say something smart to me, like, kind of like get under my skin a little bit, I would spin the ball with laces straight back and make him kick the laces just because I had that much control over the ball. And I'm like, all right, say something again, and you're going to kick the laces again on purpose.
Seabass talking about that chemistry.
Hey, how about that story doing train camp? You remember where we pick where we going to kick?
I was married, and I love it.
Tell us that story.
That was awesome. That's when Ted Dasher told us out to the head coach because we were late for curfew. And so it was a field goal period. And I knew Seabass was mad because I was mad too. I mean, we just got lost a camp check, which wasn't much, like $300, but whatever. If they snapped the ball, I would look at Seabass and he would point like left. And I'd put it down, he'd miss about 3 feet left outside the uprights. Then next snap, he would point right and miss it 3 feet right and outside the uprights. He'd miss every one of them just to piss off that. He was kicking the ball. He was kicking the ball exactly where he wanted to kick it, but he wasn't going to make it just to piss everybody else off.
Tell me a little bit about y'all pregame routine. You know, like what was y'all ritual? Any superstitions?
I mean, Seabass knows. I mean, especially back when Run Jones was still alive, and Run would we'd always either give him a ticket so he could get somebody into the game or whatever. But he'd always have us 2 cans of Copenhagen in the locker, and it was always Seabass and I always had to be the first ones to the locker. Like if it was a noon game, we were there like 8:30.
I mean, we just mess around, you know. You read the Game Day magazine, you read that 3 times.
Each one of you tell us your favorite memory around Oakland.
This was before John, but when we won the AFC Championship game, that night game against Tennessee, that place was rocking that night. I think that was the last year the NFL played the Super Bowl the very next weekend. So we won that night. Then we had to go straight to the hotel and say how many tickets we needed and how many hotel rooms. And you had to make a whole bunch of decisions when you didn't really want to make decisions. You wanted to make bad decisions is really what you wanted to make.
Well, me, I really didn't have one. I mean, I like all the games that I played there. I just didn't freaking hate the turf. It's not like I can point one thing out, but all those games were fun, man.
Yeah, to piggyback with what you just said, Bass, the fans were awesome. I mean, just driving up to the Coliseum on an early Sunday morning and seeing the fans gating and the smells that you get from the Coliseum. I mean, I just cherish all those memories. Just walking down from our locker room, you know, through the A's clubhouse and then down the stairs, and you know, just I mean, there was water dripping everywhere. There's open.
Oh, yeah. That garbage can in the training room, you remember, was dripping in there?
And it's just like you're walking out and you're like, man, okay. And then right when you walk out into the tunnel, I mean, the fans, especially with us specialists, they just always go crazy. An experience, you know, that, you know, I'll never forget. And it was just, I'm very grateful to be a part of that, you know, to the franchise and the play at the Coliseum. It's just so many great memories. I mean, I think the best memories is being out on the field you know, for the last play of the game. I mean, for the 3 of us to have the control of the game, especially for me, starting it with the ball in my hand and snapping it to Shane and Bass, putting it to their uprights. Those are always my favorite games to be a part of, just because, you know, the whole team spends the whole week, you know, game planning and stuff, and then we go out there and it's really on us to decide the fate of the game. And it was just awesome to go out there and kick those game winners and have everyone celebrate.
Tell me about Coach Bones.
Bones probably the most positive person I've ever been around. And you can see his reputation now around the NFL. Every game that he is on the sideline, before they even say his name, they say the best special teams coach in the game. And I think it just comes with how positive he is all the time. And you never hear him, like, he doesn't cuss. If he needs to cuss, he would ask Condo or somebody to say a bad word in the meeting because he wouldn't do it. And that's just how he was. But I love Bonesy, man. Bones was the best.
Another thing with Bones, like, to go with the meetings, like, he would have the whole team come into the special teams meetings because everyone was like, you know, the first couple of years when he was there, first couple of meetings, it was like there's all this noise coming from the special teams room. You know, when we're having this, and then you just, next thing you know, you have people trickling in the next meetings, and then before you know, it's like practically the whole team coming in. Whether it's, you know, Friday, the Friday or the Saturday morning special teams meeting when he'd have someone come up and give like a little presentation or talk, or the night before, the night before meeting. It was always just, you know, it wasn't, you know, required for anyone besides the core 4 group. But we always had probably 90-95% of the team in those meetings.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And for me, it was communication with Bones. He understood, you know, if you feel bad, how much you got to kick.
How did playing for Al Davis impact all of your careers and also your mindset today?
You know, my first impression with Al was at training camp. We were there, and he asked me about a player, and I don't even remember his name. And I think he was like a 7th round pick or very late or a really early free agent that we signed right before camp. anyways, he was like, well, what do you think about him? I'm like, oh, I think he's a good player, Mr. Davis. And he looked at me and he said, don't you ever tell me what you think I want to hear, because he's not a good player and he won't be here tomorrow. I was like, oh,
And what happened? And what happened to him?
and he got him. He got him that night. I'm like, I'm not ever walking by this man. But I loved Al. He was the face of the Raiders. That's for sure. He's a legend, man. He was a Maverick. He kind of did his own thing, and it was awesome.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I'm just very grateful for Mr. Davis to give me the opportunity, because I know kind of when I was getting into into the league as a long snapper, there was, it was just starting to, teams were just starting to allocate, spots on the 53-man roster as for just a long snapper. And I want to say I was probably one of the last to really get into or keep a space, available just for of the 53 for a snapper. And I know when Lane Kiffin came in 2007, and Wink Martindale was the coach, and because I was playing a little bit of linebacker. He was the linebacker coach. And I know, Wink was talking to me, about, hey, we're going to see what they're going to decide, but, you've got to prove that you can, play a little bit of linebacker, because that's just how it's been done here. But fortunately they gave me the opportunity, and I just wanted to roll with it. So definitely grateful for
me, when I got drafted, then no, never met the guy, but then I just didn't want to disappoint him. I want to, show everybody, hey, you spend a pick on a freaking kicker. I didn't want to disappoint him. And then, just hanging out with him, just talking to him, loved the man. It was awesome. And now Mark is exactly like his dad, man.
Yeah.
And you say that he was sitting, I was at the Jags game probably like a couple of years back. I was freaking scared sitting in there with Mark, man. I was sitting, man, we were sitting opposite end, and I was like just looking like this. He was going.
Well, no, it is awesome, man. I love Raiders, man.
2011, Houston Texans. Al Davis, the game after Al Davis passed away. Can you guys bring me back to that moment and what that moment meant for you guys winning that game?
Raiders owner Al Davis passed away at the age of 82. He was an innovator, a pioneer, and the face and lifeblood of the silver and black.
I remember the bus ride to the stadium, and you kind of think about like Al's history and what he meant to the National Football League, what he meant to Los Angeles, what he meant to Oakland. All this stuff kind of goes through, it's kind of like a surreal moment, and you got a game to play, which, Al wanted us nothing but to win the game. But you can kind of think about the stamp that he put, or his mark that he put on the National Football League. And, man, it was just, you felt proud to play for him. And then, once we lost him and, that week leading to the Texans game in Houston, and then to fly to the game and everything that had happened, and then to come out and win the game with 10 men on the field, was pretty damn impressive, But it was I think for me, it was just a moment of reflection. The guy drafted Seabass in the first, me in the fifth, took a lot of chances on a lot of people, and he would bring older veterans in. He did it his way, and I had a whole ton of respect for him and how he handled his business and how he went about it. And I think for me, that day was just a reflection day on, what he had meant to the league.
All around the league, pro football remembers a larger-than-life figure.
Yeah, I remember the bus ride there, and the night before, is we were all reflecting, basically on, I think everyone who, was part of the organization, had some sort of experience with Mr. Davis, and I think we all reflected, and I think we went out. I mean, I'm not sure what we finished record-wise that year, but I know Houston had a pretty good team, and I don't think a lot of people were giving us a shot, but it just showed that we went out there with the mission, and fortunately we got that W for him.
Yeah, for me, it was tough. Like, the guy said, just be on the bus, and, they passed away. But I felt like he was with us that day. Like Shane said, we finished with 10 men on defense. I think Huff got a pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like he was there with us.
Coming right down to the wire here in Houston, 25-20. Oakland in front, 7 seconds to play. Schaub takes the snap, 5 seconds left. Schaub, pump fake, Schaub throws, intercepted, it's over! Michael Huff, after the passing of Al Davis yesterday, just win baby, lives for the Raiders.
Outside of y'all chemistry, Seabass with all his funny pranks, can y'all share some pranks or any pranks that went too far?
Well, the one prank that, I didn't put it on anybody, but when me and Shane got there, we got taped up. Freaking put a hot sauce on it, water. You remember we're getting taped ourselves in the locker room and we still laid on the floor for 3.5 hours. So I think that's crazy.
And how much atomic bomb did they put on you? I think they put it all over your scalp or on your head.
They did all the deal. We got the picture. There's a picture out there.
When people look back on the Lechler, Janikowski, Condo relationship, and more so your career with the Raiders, what do you hope people remember most about you all?
I think that we did our job at an elite level and had a badass time doing it. I don't think any time pressure ever was felt when it was us three doing our job. I think it was like, let's go do our job same way we do it on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's go do it on Sunday, and then we're going to have a great time after this game.
We always did I'm not saying we always did the right thing off the field, but on the field, we always do the right thing. And I do in practice, we try to get better every week. And I just hope people that, to see that.
Yeah, I think that, people knew what to expect with us and we were accountable. It didn't matter, what we were doing outside of the locker room or whatever. But when we came to work, we came to work. We knew why we were getting paid. We knew we were there to win games. And but we had a lot of fun, winning games and outside of the locker room. And I think with that, we showed our teammates what chemistry could be like. And our chemistry is just, it didn't matter. I mean, Shane would say, I don't care where you put me, where you put the ball, just get it back here, and it's the same with, putting the laces or wherever with Bass. Bass, didn't matter where he held it. He was going to kick it and put it through. And it was just the comfort level that I think we all three of us had. But I think our team, especially during some of those years, were pretty thin. They saw our chemistry. They saw how we worked, and we're just really reliable. And I think the coaches respected that, and I think they put us out there in situations that they knew that they could trust us, and that's what it's all about. I think we all played the game to win, but to garner your locker room, to allow them to like. We play not to let our teammates down. I think it was just, we wanted to get the respect from everyone in the locker room, and I think we had it.
Seabass, was there ever a kick you couldn't make?
I was on the 76-yarder when Kiffin was the coach. Thanks, Shane.
How confident were you with that 76-yarder?
The ball ended like on the goal line. I was like, damn. Through the whole week, we were prepared. So when I'm going to the game, I know I can't make it. So it's pretty much what's on me. If I miss it, I miss it. Yeah. It's not like fall, it's shameful. That's all it comes down to. And, we trust each other.
Funny squirt got that 76-yarder. It was like right before the half, the week before Cromartie, I think, returned one in a very similar situation. And we're out there, and there's a timeout, and Coach Kiffin and Coach Nodge is there, and they're talking about, okay. And we're just hanging out there, and when Kiff said, "Hey, let's kick it," and I said, "Oh, punting, right?" And he said, "No, let's kick the field goal." And I said something like, "You actually serious?" And you can see it. There's like video clips. You could just see him give me like an eye like that. Like I just like put my helmet on and ran out. I'm like, well, I'm going to be snapping it either way.
With the evolution of the kicking game today, what would you guys do now with the new ball or the new, kicking system that they have in
I seriously think if, first of all, we kicked in Oakland below sea level. These guys right now, they're getting the kick in Vegas in that dry air with some badass footballs. Man, the numbers would have been crazy.
Yeah, you would average at least 60 yards per punt.
I mean, it'd be like kicking in Denver, except it's controlled. We got a roof. Can you imagine? That's how thin the air is. 3 or 4 years ago, I could probably still be doing what y'all doing. But Seabass's best kick, he didn't say it. His best kick, his 61-yarder in Cleveland in the sleet, the snow, that was the best. I remember getting down on a knee to get ready to hold that game, and I looked at him, and I was like, you ain't got a chance in hell to make this kick. And then he makes it, and he makes it, he doesn't even celebrate, he just runs off. Yeah.
Shane, you're up for Hall of Fame this year. Seabass, Jon, why does Shane deserve to get in?
In that era that we played, there was nobody better than him. And you look at the statistics, look at his numbers. I think it's like 14, 44 punts, like 47.6 average. And I'm just reading out of this thing, all right? Dude, he makes so many Pro Bowls, I don't even remember. Was it 7, 8? Dude, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I hope I get an invite to fly out. You know, everybody knows I hate flying, but I'm going to fly for that one if I get invited for Hall of Fame. Get that gold jacket on. He deserves it.
Literally, if you look at punters, I mean, you're on the all-decade team from 2000, 2010, 2010 to 2020. Am I correct there?
Yes.
At least.
Are you reading out here from the phone?
No, I actually retained some information, Seabass. You know, when I got there, I mean, Pro Bowls, and then continue all pro. But he was the guy that, you know, that the team relied on. He was a team leader. I mean, not a lot of people know this, but he was a quarterback. He went to A&M to be a quarterback. So he did a lot of stuff outside of, you know, just punting the ball. He game planned. He could run meetings. So, but to be able to, you had other punters in that era, or in that 2000 to 2010, that era. I remember Cyphers. I mean, I think he said he had a conversation with his parents, being mad at his parents for being born in the same era as Shane Lechler, because here having, you know, unbelievable years, but he could just never. He wasn't the best punter in his division, you know. But yeah, it's when you talk about being a punter, and I mean, obviously, I think there's a big tradition right now with the Raiders and punters. I mean, look at the history of punters that we've had. It's incredible. But Shane is mighty, or really well worthy of wearing that gold jacket. And I just don't know, you know, with these kids' legs nowadays, I can't see any of them punting in that same era on those same terms and having the net and the gross averages that he has.
Amazing. Shane?
Man, it was a fun ride. I know, I mean, I couldn't have done it without these two. They made it fun every day. Even, you know, after a loss or in a tough season or whatever, I knew I got to go to work with them too. And we would find a way to find a positive and keep rolling and doing our stuff to the best we could. And hell, what we end up, did we go to 1 or 2 Pro Bowls, all 3 of us together? Was it 1 or 2?
It was 2011.
All 3 of us went? Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a good time, because I mean, you roll in there with, you know, 3 silver and black helmets doing our same thing all together, and that just kind of, I guess that was kind of icing on the cake for us. I mean, we get to go to Hawaii and go play together, and, you know, bring families and everybody be together and have a great time. And yeah, I miss it. I miss Sundays. I miss hanging out in the locker room with them. But it's even funny, you know, you even miss training camp. You miss a lot of that stuff, you know, because of the friendships we had with everyone. I mean, from the equipment staff to the training room to the weight staff to everyone, you know, I think we respected everyone and we were friends with everyone. And then, you know, there wasn't any bad blood anywhere in the building with us 3 and in any of the other workers or players.
There you have it, Raider Nation. We're here with the legends. Shane, we want to see you in the gold jacket. Condo, I love the room and the dog in the back. Thank you for your insight. Seabass, I'm coming to get you in the RV, and I'm bringing you to Las Vegas. We're going to stop at Condo spot. We're going to stop at Lechler spot. Raider Nation, there you have it. Legends on top of legends. We out. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
I'm the biggest fan, so thank you guys, man. Thank you.
Thank you.